Hello future engineers, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're still new to my channel and you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to share my videos to your friends and to your friends' friends. To your younger brothers and sisters who would want to take up engineering in the future, and to your relatives. That's one way you can keep me going, inspired and refreshed. Now, if you find my videos interesting and important to your studies, also please don't forget to subscribe. Hello future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is another video in Engineers in Progress. I hope that these sample problem videos on uniform motion problems will help you enhance your skills in analyzing problems, not only in algebra but all subjects in engineering. It will really work. Now, the reason why my solution is not so detailed, so that I'll train you, my viewers, my subscribers and students, to really survive in engineering. If you have, if you can adapt my style of solving the problems without so much details, because these problems are supposedly vitamins or uh, for instilling your minds, practicing problems to quickly think of translating English to algebra so that you can formulate equations rapidly. But if you want to solve these problems in a more detailed manner, then you can, as long as your answers will be the same as this. Now, if you want to anticipate the solutions also, you can always do so by pausing the video. So I hope that you can follow with me and you agree with my intentions of training you to become good thinking students, especially in problem solving. This the series of problems here are not so difficult to comprehend. So still on uniform motion problems, here is the first one. When Dave drives his car to work, the trip takes 30 minutes. When he rides the bus, the trip takes 30 minutes when Dave drives his car to work. When he rides the bus, it takes 45 minutes. The average speed of the bus is 12 miles per hour less than his speed when driving. Find the distance he travels to work. So take note that the distance is the same whether Dave drives his car or whether he rides the bus. But we have different times. Of course, we denote the distance as d, and distance equals average speed of Dave when driving the car. I'll call that v sub c, and the time is 30 minutes or 1/2 hour. So distance equals v times time. That's our guide. So distance equals v, the average speed of Dave when driving the car, then the time is 30 minutes or 1/2. So that's the formula for distance. Then when he rides the bus, the distance would be average speed of the bus, which is 12 miles per hour less than his driving speed. So that is V sub C minus 12, and the time is 45 minutes. 45 over 60 minutes per hour is 3/4 of an hour. So D is also means average speed of the bus times time, which is 3/4 travel time for the bus to reach the workplace of Dave. Then these two are equal, so we equate v sub c over 2 equals v sub b times 3/4. So that means v sub c is 3 halves of v of bus. And we replace speed of the bus as v sub c minus 12 from this statement here. So v sub c is 3 halves of quantity v sub c minus 12. Distribute, so v sub c equals 3 halves v sub c minus 18. So transpose negative 18 to the left, so it is 18, then 3 halves v sub c minus v sub c is v sub c over 2. So again, negative 18 to the left, so 18 equals 3 halves v sub c minus v sub c is v sub c over 2. Since the distance from Dave's home to his workplace is v sub c times 1 half, or v sub c over 2, which is this already, so it is equal to 18, and 18 is 18 miles. So therefore, the distance is 18 miles. Problem 10. John leaves Memphis to visit his cousin Bella, who lives in the town of Hornsby, Tennessee, 80 miles away. He travels at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. 1/2 hour later, Bella leaves to visit John, traveling at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. How long after Bella leaves will it be before they meet? So the reference time is when Bella leaves her town also. So the distance is distance traveled by John plus distance traveled by Bella, because they live at different times, but they traveled towards each other. So distance equals average speed of John times travel time of John plus average speed of Bella times travel time of Bella. And the average speed of John is 50, while the average speed of Bella is 60 miles per hour. Travel time for John is 1 hour plus the travel time of Bella, which we call T. So the distance then is 80 miles. So 80 equals average speed of John, which is 50, and his travel time is 1 hour greater than that of Bella, because John leaves his town first. So 50 times 1 plus T, while the average speed of Bella is 60 and its travel time is T. So 80 equals 50 plus 50t plus 60, 110t plus 50. So 80 minus 50 is 30 equals 110t. So t is 30 over 110, or that's 3 over 11 hours. So that's the time after Bella leaves in Hornsby, Tennessee, where she can meet John along the way. On an automobile trip, Janice maintained a steady speed for the first 2 hours. Rush hour traffic slowed her speed by 25 miles per hour for the last part of the trip. The entire trip, a distance of 120 miles, took 2.5 hours. What was her speed during the first part of the trip? So during the first part of the trip, it took Janice 2 hours, and her average speed is that the question. We will call that V. Then distance equals average speed of Janice during the first part. Then times travel time is 2 hours. Plus, for the second part, the average speed is equal to V minus 25, because we have rush hour traffic. And the travel time is 1/2 hour, because the total trip took 2.5 hours. So distance equals V1 T1 plus V2 T2. So the total distance is 125 miles. 125 equals V times 2 hours. So this V is the average speed of Janice during the first part of the trip. Then plus the average speed during the second part is V minus 25, and the travel time is 1/2 hour, where 1/2 hour is 2.5 hours minus the first travel time, first part of the trip, which took 2 hours. So plus quantity V minus 25 times 1/2 hour. So simplifying, 125 equals 2V plus 1/2 V, so that's 5 halves V minus 25 over 2. So 125 equals 5 halves v minus 25 over 2. Multiply everything by 2. So 2 times 125 is 250 equals 5v minus 25. So 250 plus 25, 275 equals 5v. So v is 275 over 5. So that's 55 miles per hour. That was the speed of Janice during the first part of her trip. Problem 12. Atlanta, and Cincinnati are 440 miles apart. Jan leaves Cincinnati, driving toward Atlanta at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. Pat leaves Atlanta at the same time, driving toward Cincinnati in her antique auto, averaging 28 miles per hour. So how long will it take them to meet? So distance again is the distance traveled by Jan plus the distance traveled by Pat, which is speed of Jan times travel time of Jan plus speed of Pat times travel time of Pat. Their travel time is the same because they live at the same time. So that distance is 440, and that is equal to 60 times t plus 28 times t. So 440 equals 88t. So t is 440 over 88. So t equals 5 hours. So John and Pat will meet along the way in 5 hours after they leave from their original destinations. Problem 13. Moses Tanoy from Kenya won the 1996 men's Boston Marathon with a rate of 12.19 miles per hour. The women's race was won by Jutta Pippig from Germany, who ran at 10.69 miles per hour. Pippig's time was zero point 0.3 hour longer than Tanoy's. Find their winning times. So distance equals speed times time, and the distance is the same for the two. So distance equals speed times time. For Moses Tanoy, distance equals 12.19 times t. So we'll just call it t. While for Pipig's distance, which is the same distance here, is her average speed, which is 10.69 miles per hour times travel time, which is t plus zero point 0.3, because Pipig's time is 0.3 hour longer than that of Tanoy's. So 10.69 times quantity t plus 0.3, equating 12.19 t equals 10.69 times quantity t plus 0.3. Simplifying, 12.19 minus 10.69 t is 1.5 t, and 10.69 times zero point 0.3 is 3.207. Solving for t, t is 3.207 over 1.5. This is the winning time of Moses Tanoy, 2.138 hours. That's the winning time of Moses Tanoy. The winning time of Jutta Pippig is this time plus 0.3, so 2.438. That's for Pippig's winning time. Problem 14. A driver averaged 53 miles per hour and took 10 hours to travel from Memphis to Chicago. What is the distance between Memphis and Chicago? So distance equals speed times time. So 53 times 10 is equal to 530 miles. Problem 15. A small plane traveled from Warsaw to Rome, averaging 164 miles per hour. The trip took 2 hours. What is the distance from Warsaw to Rome? So it's the same as in problem 14. Distance equals speed times time. So distance equals 164 times time 2 hours. So it is equal to 328 miles. Problem 16. A passenger train and a freight train leave a town at the same time and go in opposite directions. They travel at 60 miles per hour and 75 miles per hour respectively. How long will it take them to be 295 97 miles apart. Because they travel in opposite directions, distance equals the sum of the distances traveled by each train. So distance equals V1 T1 plus V2 T2. So they have the same travel times because they leave a town at the same time. So for the first train, 60 and T is just T. For the second train, the speed is 75 and travel time is T, and the distance 297. So 297 equals 60 times T plus 75 times T. So 297 equals 135 T. So T is 297 over 135, and that is 2.2 hours. Problem 17. A passenger train and a freight train leave a town at different times and go in perpendicular directions. So take note, their paths are perpendicular. They travel at 120 kilometers per hour and 150 kilometers per hour respectively. If the passenger train leaves 30 minutes earlier than the freight train, find their distance after 3 hours the passenger train left the town. So the travel time of the passenger train is 3 hours, while the travel time of the freight train is 30 minutes less or 2.5 hours. So the distance, because the paths are perpendicular to each other, so by Pythagoras theorem, square root of distance traveled by the passenger train square plus distance traveled by the freight train square. So distance equals square root of d sub b square plus d sub f square. Distance traveled by the passenger train is speed 120 times time 3 hours. So 120 times 3 is 360 kilometers. For the distance traveled by the freight train, speed 150 and travel time is 2.5 hours. As mentioned here, 30 minutes earlier than the freight train, so the travel time of the freight train is 2.5 hours. So 150 times 2.5 is 375 kilometers. Substitute into this equation. So D is square root of 360 square plus 375 square. So D is 519.8 kilometers. Then lastly, for this video, two cars leave towns 230 kilometers apart at the same time, traveling directly toward one another. One car travels 15 kilometers per hour slower than the other, so they pass one another 2 hours later. What are their speeds? So distance equals distance 1 plus distance 2, v1 t1 plus v2 t2, where travel time is the same, which is in this case 2 hours, and distance is 230, and the speed of the other is 15 kilometers per hour slower than the speed of the faster car. We'll call the speed of the faster car as v sub f. So 230 equals speed of the faster car times 2 plus speed of the slower car is v sub f minus 15, then times 2. Simplify, 230 equals 4v sub f minus 30. 230 plus 30, 260 equals 4v sub f. Therefore, the speed of the faster car is 260 over 4 or 65 kilometers per hour, and the speed of the slower car is 65 minus 15, so 50 kilometers per hour. So that's it for this video. I hope that you were able to follow the solutions explanations well.